sharing with you Danish Dream Cake or Drømmekage. This is a light and moist vanilla sponge cake topped with a thick and chewy layer of brown sugar and coconut. If you love the two flavors, toffee and coconut, this is the cake for you. So join me today as I show you how to make it, as well as tell you its history, which involves a little girl and a baking contest. And make sure you stick all the way to the end because I'm going to be making a channel announcement. Let's get started. To make the sponge cake, add 50 grams or 3½ tablespoons of softened unsalted butter to a large bowl or stand mixer with 250 grams or 2¼ cups of sugar, an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat that all together until creamy, and then beat 4 eggs in one at a time, mixing well after each addition. The Dream Cake is one of the most popular cakes in Denmark, and despite it being so nationally well known, it's not that old of a recipe. I suppose it's what you'd call a vintage recipe, as it dates back to 1960. It took on its national popularity when a young girl named Jutta Andersen submitted the cake and its recipe to a baking competition put on by a local housewife association in Brovst, Denmark in 1960. It was a recipe she had learned from her grandmother, Marie Nielsen, who lived in Østegård. And because of that, the family called the cake the Østegård cake. 6 months later, she discovered a flour company named Amo had published her recipe under the name Dream Cake from Brovst. Since that time, the cake has become well known and baked throughout Denmark. Strangely, this cake almost exactly resembles the American Lazy Daisy cake, so you have to wonder who borrowed from who. Looking back at the batter, briefly beat in 200 milliliters or 3/4 cup of whole milk, and then whisk together 250 grams or 2 cups of all-purpose flour with 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Sift that into the wet ingredients and then gently whisk it until there are no streaks of flour left. Pour the batter into a 9 by 13 inch rectangular cake pan that has been lined with a parchment paper sling, and then spread out the batter to even it out and shake or tap the pan a couple of times to release any air bubbles. Bake that in a 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit preheated oven for 18 to 20 minutes or until a cake skewer comes out clean. And while the cake is baking, you're going to prepare the topping by putting 130 grams or 9¼ tablespoons of unsalted butter into a medium-sized pot with 250 grams or 1¼ cups of packed brown sugar. Stir that all together until melted, and then add 75 milliliters or 1/3 cup of milk. Stirring often to keep it from burning, let it come to a boil, and then stir in 125 grams or 1½ cups of shredded unsweetened coconut, and then let that come back to a boil and then take it off the heat. By this point, the cake should be done. Remove it from the oven and test it with a toothpick to make sure it's done, and then pour the hot coconut mixture on top. Spread it to make it even, and then pop it back in the oven for 6 to 7 more minutes until the topping is caramelized. And then allow the cake to cool completely before slicing into it. This is one of my absolute favorite cakes. So good. The vanilla sponge is so soft and moist, and that brown sugar coconut topping has the texture and flavor of toffee, but with coconut added in. It's such a dreamy combination, as the name implies. And one perk to this cake is that it freezes really well. So it's perfect for making in advance for an event, or just slicing it up and freezing individual slices for a treat every now and then. Now about my channel announcement, I've just launched memberships. You can find them below. Next to the subscribe button, there's a button called join. If you click that, you can see 3 different memberships that you can choose from. And this is a way to support my time and effort in bringing you these videos. I absolutely love what I do. I love that I could bring these videos to you and share this niche interest of mine with a little pocket of the internet that seems to enjoy it as well. But making these videos does take a lot of my time, so I would appreciate any way you love to support the channel. But don't worry, if you don't sign up, absolutely nothing will change. You will still have access to all of the videos free of charge. And if you'd like to support the channel in a non-monetary way, I am this close to being fully monetized by YouTube, which means I can receive ad revenue once I am monetized. And you need 4,000 watch hours in order to be monetized, and I'm very close to that. So if you'd like to support me in a non-monetary way, now would be the perfect time to catch up on any videos you may have not seen yet, or to rewatch some of your old favorites. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. This channel has grown so much in the past year, more than I could have ever imagined, and I've met so many wonderful people through this channel. I've really enjoyed getting to know you and being able to share this passion of mine with you. So thank you so much for all of your support so far. I really appreciate each and every one of you. So we'll end on that note, and while you're waiting for the next video, check out one of these 2 videos, and I will see you next time.